either 7:50 in the morning or 8:50 in the morning. I must be right at the edge of the time zone change because some of my devices are showing one and some of the other. Dare I say it's spitting rain. Hopefully as I head east I'll get out of it. But right now it's raining on me. There's a sandstone falls that are coming up here. It doesn't look like it's too far a walk back, so if I see the entrance I'm going to stop and take a quick peek at it. What is this? Sandstone Falls. Here we go. It's a quarter-mile hike. I can do that. Steps and trail drop sharply to falls. Pace yourself and avoid overexertion. I think there's very little chance of that. The stairs are actually hard to go down. It's going to be hard to come back up because the sand or dirt between the rails has eroded. So you can see some of it's really deep down. So you're forced to either kind of step up and over each rail or walk on the rails, which is difficult itself. So the climb is one thing, but the stairs are in terrible shape. Cool, but very humid out. Well, if you want to get away from it all, Upper Peninsula is the way to do it. This is pretty remote. Almost noontime. Rain showers. More sprinkles than rain, I guess. So I'm going up into the peninsula here. Houghton is ahead of me. Got time this afternoon. I'll look around a little bit. It's definitely chilled down. 61 degrees Fahrenheit. I got to put another layer on. Got my heated grips going, but to get my torso a little warmer than what it is. There were only 2 campsites available for tonight and tomorrow night at this park that I'm headed towards, so I immediately grabbed the one. It said it's suitable for small tents. I think I qualify for. And the picture of it looked fairly level. Well, I'm almost there, the Houghton Visitor Center, Royale National Park. I only have a 3-hour journey to go tomorrow to actually get to the national park. But I'm going to stop here and pick up a brochure and try to plan out tomorrow. AE Seaman Mineral Museum. This gets really good reviews. Minerals from all over the world here. Namibia, England, Mexico, Arizona, Chile, Congo, New Mexico, China. Sandstone, naturally made, reminiscent of Petrified Forest National Park. Under ultraviolet light, they're fluorescing.
Lead and manganese, whereas uranium is responsible for the bright green fluorescence of sabugolite, adamite, and hyalite opal. Bright yellow fluorescence shown by these scapolite specimens from Quebec is caused by sulfur present in its structure, while the fluorites glow purplish blue due to rare earth elements.
This display shows some of the different uses of minerals in consumer and industrial products, including in automobiles. This case has meteorites averaging 5 billion years old. Tektites used to be thought of as meteorites, but they're actually just backsplash from a meteorite impact. Hematite, sometimes called kidney ore, iron oxide mineral. Data lights. Leaving Houghton. This is Highway 203 taking me out to McClain State Park. I was really surprised that the park ranger, when I was talking to him about what I could do tomorrow, and there's a hike, a 4+ mile hike that should work out well, and apparently has some good views. But he indicated that the facilities on the shore are already closed up for the season, which, given the fact that the vessels that go out there are completely full, or at least they were when I was trying to book, it seems odd to me that they'd be closing up things as early as they do. And he said, well, they have to close up the facilities and power generation and this and that. And I get that. I'm sure that takes time, but given the demand for going out there in September, it seems a little bit odd to me. And in fact, the vessel at the that runs from the National Park Service office took its final run last week. So I'm late in the season going out to Isle Royale. The other thing that struck me was that the island is a very large island. I never really looked at it that carefully on the map. It's something like 50 miles in length. I'm not sure how wide, but so it's a sizable island out there in the middle of Superior. It's an hour trip from this FJ McLain State Park, and I'm supposed to be there no later than 7:15. So it's going to be an early rise. I'm going to get everything packed tonight, so the only thing I basically have to do is jump on the bike tomorrow and go. Site 71. It's been reserved for 2 nights. One of only 2 sites that were left. There's 2 that could be reserved. I don't know whether they have any walk-in sites that you can't reserve ahead of time. Nice park ranger. And no, the campground is not full. I have no idea. It's not a motorcyclist. I have no idea. Now, I did put down that I wanted a tent site, but there are quite a few tent sites. And I said non-electric, and there's quite a few non-electric sites as well. So he wasn't sure why I was showing only 2 available. I'm going to set up camp quickly and have dinner. 69, 71. Site 71, McClain State Park here in Michigan Upper Peninsula. You can hear and see Lake Superior out there in the background. About 6 o'clock, and I'm just now sitting down for dinner.
Well, guess what? We made it. Woohoo! Welcome to Isle Royale National Park. This is actually Rock Harbor that we're in right now. Rock Harbor is a very long natural harbor. Rock Harbor reaches about another 12 miles down to your left, which would take you down to Mosky Basin, and another 2 or 3 miles up to the right, which takes you up to the northeast end of the island.
It's almost noon and I have to be back at the boat by 2:15. It's a 3.5 hour ride out. A little over 2.25 hours here and 3.5 hour ride back. It's kind of a crazy thing to do for a day trip, but there are a lot of people that are doing it. Nice trail. Beautiful overlooks of Superior. Feels very rushed though. Get back in 2 hours time. And they won't hold the boat for you apparently if you miss it, which is understandable. But given all the facilities are largely closed here, the gift shop, having a tent or sleeping bag, it would be a pretty uncomfortable night here around Isle Royale. Scoville Point, 0.6 miles. Harbor, 1.5, so I'm 35 minutes in, did 1.5 miles. So I should be able to do this. Right on the water. Very nice. Lots of rocks to navigate. All potential ankle twisters. Definitely the point. There's a marker here. Well, I did it. Second national park on this trip. Down on the list. It's a gorgeous park. Absolutely gorgeous up here. My goal today is to get back to the ferry on time. I was just joking with the fellow. So what's the risk of we taking a slightly longer trail back? He said, oh, there's a boat on Monday, and it's Friday. That's the risk. Gotta keep you moving on the trail. Wow, how's that? It's like he's on a peninsula. I came out on one side of the peninsula and I'm going to take the other side back. The trail goes back to, I think it's called Rock Harbor. Kind of late in the season, but there's still some blooms. Well, haven't seen the water. Path is easier though. There's far fewer rocks. I'll probably make a little bit better time going back, but not nearly as scenic. So that leaves me with 2 national parks in Florida that are both water parks, but I can ride my motorcycle down, I guess, to the national park office and somehow get out to those spots. There's not a lot left. There's 2 in Hawaii that are in 2 different islands, and I'm not sure I'll be able to ever ride a motorcycle to those because I'm not sure they have motorcycle rentals there. American Samoa, way out in the Pacific, which I doubt has motorcycle rentals, so that's kind of off the list. And then the 3 or 4 in Alaska that can't be visited by motorcycle. You really have to fly in or hire a private boat to take you to them, which is very expensive. So that's not likely either. And then there's the American Virgin Islands, which is on St. John's. There's no motorcycle ability there either. So I'm kind of running out of U.S. national parks. Other than the 2 in Florida, which I still have my sights on. Of course, just like Michigan and Minnesota National Parks. It's a long ride to get there. Half loop. Rock Harbor, 1.1 miles. So I guess I'll do that. 1 mile more to go. What time is it? Going to be back at the ferry dock in 45 minutes. I'm really fortunate to visit all the parks. I guess the 2 in Florida, just like the 2 here. Would have been nice to have visited them when I passed by on a motorcycle before, but plans just didn't allow it, and at that point in time I didn't really have it in my mind to try to get to as many national parks by motorcycle as I could. And here we are with the little water on the other side of the peninsula, which I am going to get close to here, so I'll take a picture. It doesn't have the crashing waves, but it's beautiful. So the only thing I'm disappointed in this hike, well, I can't slow down and take my time with some of the views, but very little wildlife. I saw a snake slither into the underbrush on the way out to the point, and then saw a little squirrel about 10 minutes ago. But this island's supposed to have moose and wolf, I believe, on it. Something like 30 wolves. No bear. I'm not quite sure if I understand why that's the case, given that Lake Superior, I thought, freezes over, and during a heavy winter you would think bears would make their way out here and live. If moose can come out, I would have thought bear could come out. It is 7:30 at night. Quite a long day. The seas were not smooth out on the lake, and for the people that were not acquainted with being on watercraft, there were a lot of people that were like that were seasick, and that made it a little bit of an uncomfortable voyage out and back, aside from the lumpy seas, and that people were losing their lunch all over the place. So fortunately I didn't have any problems, but it made it less than pleasant. People were very kind on the boat. I met a lot of nice people and had a lot of good conversations, but the fact that there were so many seasick individuals put a crimp on it. There's a big round of applause when we finally got into the breakwater and the vessel smoothed out. It's built 1980, so it's an older vessel. Now there were different people that went out in the morning, some different people, then came back. So there were people that were going out there to stay out there for a number of days, and some that were coming back after having been out there a number of days. It's definitely a rugged national park, that's for sure. You go out there and you stay more than the time that I did, and you better be prepared because you're out there without much support. So I still have a motorcycle ride in front of me. It's still light out, thankfully, but it's going to be dark by the time I get to camp. But a great day. I'm glad I did it. And now that it's evening, just like it was in the morning, I got to be careful about wildlife. So I'm going to sign off for now, pay attention to what I'm doing, and try to get myself back to my tent safely.